Welcome to another episode of So You Want to Read. Our genre of the week is magical realism. Magical realism is a genre of fiction with fantastical or surreal elements that are firmly rooted in the world we know. These magical aspects are accepted as part of the fabric of everyday life rather than being viewed as something that is strange or shocking. Magical realism is a rich and diverse genre and can be considered a subgenre of fantasy. While fantasy is driven by plot, magical realism is driven by character and theme. The supernatural elements might be more subtle than in fantasy because they're only being used as props to hold up the main story. If you remove the fantastical elements and the story falls apart, it's probably fantasy. We know that the key components of magical realism are a realistic setting and extraordinary or fantastical elements. But what else can we find in these books? Many authors of this genre will provide limited information and deliberately leave the magic in their stories unexplained. It is also common for magical realism authors to offer an implicit critique of society or use symbolism to communicate a broader theme. If you're brand new to this genre, I've got some recommendations for you. If you're looking for a classic, try 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This is an epic tale that tells the story of 7 generations of the Buendia family and spans 100 years of turbulent Latin American history. This best-selling novel put magical realism on the map in the late 1960s. If you're looking for a more approachable book, try Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman. This is the story of the Owen sisters, who face numerous challenges of life and love. Orphaned at a young age and taken in by their eccentric aunts, the sisters are blamed for everything that goes wrong in their small Massachusetts town. If neither of these books sounds intriguing to you, try The House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende. This is one of the most beloved Latin American works of the 20th century. It takes place in Chile and chronicles 4 generations of the Trueba family. While this is considered one of her most important books, Allende has written several more recent books that lie within the magical realism genre, including Island Beneath the Sea and Violetta. Give one or all of these great books a try. Here are a couple of tips for reading this genre. Number 1. If you're reading magical realism, don't expect an if-then plot structure. Things often happen without an explanation or for reasons that we don't expect. Just go with it and accept that this is a part of the reality of this world. And number 2, objects and places in magical realism novels might behave in ways that they could not in realistic fiction. Use your imagination when reading. Try and use the vivid descriptions provided by the author to paint a picture in your mind. Just have fun with it and have an open mind as you try to figure out this new world that you're in. Thanks for tuning in. Contact the Fiction Desk with any questions or requests.